Average size family, the average size family was established at an average of 4 members and comprised of results show that
at that level force.
yeah.
Proportion of 57%.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. The study continued and it said.
Also, the study results show that the main household livelihood choices included cropping, 77% of the respondents, of farm, 61%, forest, 49%, and the livestock, 14% activities.
Yeah. And the result shows?
The result shows the study demonstrates the household in the study have unique socioeconomic features that contextualize property prevalence in the area.
Yes. Yeah. It contextualizes poverty prevalence in the area. This was written by Wamarwa, one of our librarians. He's from Kenya, but he works also at SIAS. And Ondieki Mwaula, she's a female. They published this in 2021. Yeah, so this is the techniques of problem solving. Yeah. But before we go to the problem solving, what are the other socioeconomic problems do you think exist? Yeah, we come back to you. What are the other socioeconomic problems?
To me?
Yes. So far you see in Rwanda, for instance, or Nigeria, or Israel. Hi. Yeah, go ahead.
I think we have talked about problem of employment.
Problem of employment. Yeah. Why do you have a problem of employment?
Maybe I should say in Rwanda, basically, we don't have enough industry that can cater for the people in the country.
Yeah. The problem of enough industry. We don't have enough industry. Do you know that when I was graduating at the university at bachelor's level 2007, I was conducting research on the market Huye and Nyagogo to see what Rwandans and East African people produce to be. Amazingly, I found that in most of our market, we were having only Ugandan food commodities. We were having only Kenyan manufacturing. We were having only those commodities. There was no Burundi for that, except small fish. Yeah. Mamesa is palm oil. So you can imagine a society which does not produce. Rwandans and Burundians were really not producing by 2007. It was a crazy research. So I found I get a lot of marks for that, but most of trouble also with the society. You can imagine a society which doesn't have production. If I tell you go to the market, find me a pen, a blue pen from made in Burundi, you can't find any. Here at this market. If I go, tell me, go and buy me, for instance, a duster from DRC, from Goma. Or maybe buy me a dish made in Bukavu. You can't find any. It means that manufacturing industries in Africa was a big problem. And we are calling upon investors at least to diversify investment from oil and gas to manufacturing. If we don't have industry, as you say, you cannot have integration of youth for different jobs. And this is a big problem. Another problem, Nabi?
Another problem we have in Rwanda, overpopulation density.
Overpopulation?
Yeah.
Do we have overpopulation? I said, do we really have overpopulation?
Yes, yeah, compared to East Africa. If Congo is having density of population of that, let's say,
Because you know Rwanda, it's not up to Lagos. It's not up to Lagos. The whole of Rwanda population is not up to Lagos. So when you're talking of population, I was like, which population are you talking about?
yeah, but we are here talking about the size of the territory. Yeah. If there are 30%, no, 30 people per square kilometer,
Okay.
Rwanda have 500 per square kilometer. You see? And some districts now we are reaching almost 1,000. Like Rwanda density of population is high.
And also Kenya.
And also Kenya.
Yeah.
They are rural district but highly populated. And yeah, of course, the whole Rwanda is like a population of Lagos. But you cannot compare unless Nigeria decides to give part of its territory to us. It's amazing. Yeah, yeah. Burundi also is overpopulated, like 350 square kilometer. But as Nabil mentions, we are really overpopulated. But the solution, I think, is not to cut beds totally, but to decrease the number of beds, maybe.
Decrease the number of what?
Decrease the birth rate, I mean.
Bed
It
rate.
is better to mobilize and for this family planning program.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Because the public health issue there.
Family planning, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is we are not having public planning adequately or efficient. Even teenagers are giving birth. It's terrible. It's a crime and terrible things. You have
Yes, it's just an input on also some socioeconomic problem related to food security like malnutrition.
yes.
Mostly indicated in Rwanda, some areas that have a rapid growth in for malnutrition, like some parts of Rwanda, like in the southern provinces, there is a high rate of malnutrition.
Malnutrition.
Yes, and it is hindering also Rwanda's development as well, because if there is the growth of malnutrition,
Yes.
the kids they can't engage in anything if they are not feeding well and if they are
Exactly. The problem of stunting. Stunt children, I mean, those who are not having adequate nutrition, they cannot grow taller and bigger. Yeah, and healthier.
and the productivity.
And productivity is affected when they don't eat well. Most of Rwandans and Burundians used to drink a lot of beer, especially husband. Yeah. And you can imagine a man drinking 2 bottles of mutzing without sugar at all and without egg for a week at least. The child have never seen egg in his eye. Very dangerous. And have never drunk milk for just 5 months. If you ask in a rural area, have you ever drink milk for the last 3 months? Some children will say, no, we have never seen milk. Maybe what they have seen is guagua and something else. Guagua, do you know? Banana milk? is the other socioeconomic problem, Anisette?
And youth migration.
Youth migration. Going to where? Explain me.
Okay, there is a rural to urban migration.
Rural to urban migration.
Which is also a big problem because the rural areas are being deserted by the youth people who can even build their future.
Yes.
They're migrating into here in Kigali, which is causing problem in rural areas.
Yes.
So, which means that rural areas are still being underdeveloped because they have no implementers. If youth doesn't contribute to raise their areas, it's also a problem. It is bringing another problem. Another problem is a person coming from the country and going abroad.
To going abroad, yeah.
To look for a job, to look for something in the Middle East. For
Yeah.
example, nowadays most of some of the girls are going to Middle East.
Yeah.
Be
Oman and Saudi Arabia.
Saudi
Some
Arabia.
of them are mistreated in. I saw a girl on YouTube who was mistreated in Oman. Tell you.
It's human trafficking.
Yeah, human trafficking and terrible activities. But thank you. I think you have to grab hand to our people here. So far, you are super in discussing the key issues we are having. In 2019, internationally, we have lost 16,000 people dying in the Mediterranean Sea, going to Europe. Why people are going to Europe? Because welfare state is working in you. Social security is working in you. Good governance is working in you. I should have stayed also in Europe. So some people say, why did you go to Europe and come back? They can ask you also. They say, well, I have to contribute also to the mindset change of Africans. Yeah. The solution will not be given by clandestine migrants. We are now receiving soon thousands of people who migrated to UK. They are now coming in Rwanda. I think in Kicukiro there are houses for them now. Maybe they are more than 200 houses. But we are going to receive more than maybe even, I don't know, but really we reach up to 50,000. I don't know. But people have to change also their mind. We cannot all go to Europe. Europe also cannot accommodate the whole world. But we need change in the place where we have. Africa is fertile. Africa have everything. Africa, if you can sit and work. But we reach there, we have to have institutions also working on that. The complexity of the problem. Yeah. It is the dynamicity, the dynamic nature of the problem, but also different stakeholders. Yeah. But how can we make some change? Sometimes it's very difficult. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe let's share idea. If I ask Anne, for instance, what do you see as the difference between treatment of socioeconomic model of Europe and Africa? How, of course, not compared, but what is the secret behind socioeconomic model in Europe? Why people always run to Europe? Yeah, and what's the difference as you see, Africa now, and you see what is the secret behind the welfare? The social sustenance of people, yeah.
Well, very honest answer from my side. I think the European model of economy is based on exploitation, based on colonialism, based on unfair global structures. So I would not say the European model, it might be based on welfare, but I think it's based on unfair welfare. And I think it's definitely also not sustainable. So I don't think it's a model to compare or to look at in order to export it to other countries, because it's based on exploitation. We only have to look at the minerals in the region and where they go, for which price, and who is profiting from this. So I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of. I think we have to, from the outside or even from the inside perspective, all looks very positive. People seem to be rich. People seem to be happy. But the question is, on which shoulders is this system based? And this system only works because in other areas of the world, people do labor for very little money. People have to give away their resources, and then they cannot grow. So I think it's not a sustainable system.
I like your explanation, but that is a global perspective, global approach. But with the local approach, I have different opinions. With a global approach, yes, the system has been a bit of global inequality and type of exploitation that she mentioned. But at the local level, at least there is a minimum recognition of state of its responsibility. That's we cannot throw everything to exploitation, but we need to think of the responsibility, the local responsibility. I give you an example. Because I give you an example of two countries, Qatar and Angola, or even Nigeria. Qatar produced 2 million barrels. I think, petroleum, to Gunguru. Angola produced 1.2 million, almost equal. Yeah? But the problem is that Qatar developed fast, Angola don't. What is the difference? Some people from Angola, and we cannot attribute all of this to the global system. No, there is also local responsibility. Yes. We cannot attribute this to colonialism. I did the African politics in Leipzig University, you know what I mean. And of course there is still a perspective that people think that there have been exploitation. That is why Africa is poor, no? Africa is poor because of mine. The boss of this institution cannot pay me and also remind me to buy bread for my children. That is my own responsibility. I don't think people have to change their mind.
Everyone don't understand this.
Yeah, because I cannot get salary from my boss here, for instance, and then refuse to buy rice for my kids. That doesn't make sense. And that is what happens in most of African households. You can find a young man like I don't want to point any, has 5 children and never paid at least a kilo of porridge to those children. This is terrible. To find a young man of 30 years old or 28 and have already 6 children and never pay sugar, 1 kilo of sugar to any of the mother of those kids. That is also the problem of responsibility. So, you You have a point.
Yeah, I just want to add something
Yes.
to what you said. You know, people used to say that, especially young people, they say everything they say if things are getting wrong, they say our government. And they don't know that we are part of the government.
Exactly.
Everyone has to do whatever he can do to improve things, but not sitting waiting for the government.
Exactly. Because
We are part of the game.
We are part of the game.
Yes.
That is why we have to push on our side. You push on your side. If you are a teacher, push on your side. If you are a manager, push on your side. If you are a mom at home, a mother of 3 children, push on your side so that they eat and go to school. Because it requires also dedication. Most of the mother will say, okay, you better sit home, helping me to get wood, to cook and bring me water, and don't go to school. Yeah, it requires resilience at micro level. And that is the perspective we need to think about. Yeah? Because we cannot always claim, okay, there has been colonialism 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 100 years ago. We cannot always claim there have been genocide in Rwanda 30 years ago, and we always quarrel each other. And Hutu and Tutsi, we quarrel each other. Nonsense. Genocide happened, that's all. So what? So how can we then progress? Look ahead. Change your mind. If you have been having parents who are drunk, so you cannot say, my dad was drunk, so that is why I'm poor. No. Try to find a way to get rid of that poverty at your individual level. I repeat again, my boss cannot pay me and remind me to buy clothes to the kids. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. And that is why I say, yes. And most of the young men in Europe or in Africa have to get rid of the stigma of loneliness or the past. No. Or the past problem. We have to build the resilience both in Africa, in Europe, and America for a new society, global society. How can we change our mind toward having responsibility? There is a minimum of responsibility that everyone has. I respect everyone here because of you have been responsible before. See, you have taken your time to come here. Here we don't pay you anything apart from sharing knowledge. But you have been here. Some have been here even 30 minutes before or even an hour. This shows personal responsibility. So, and this is the technique of problem solving that has been set up also by Dr. Buhegenda on principles of problem solving. First of all, you have to visualize the problem, the society. You have to visualize means to look at your society, visualize it, assess it, analyze it. Visualize the problem, look at the story, dissecting the problem. You have to establish socioeconomic model, full vector of wealth. How to establish socioeconomic problem thinking? Dissecting the problem, understanding the problem, engineering dynamic balance of the problem, and the more you think, the more you look at the problem, the more you find solutions to the problem. If 23% of households are led by women, then how can you empower economies of those women so that they have capacity to fulfill their needs? In Senegal, yesterday, no, the day before, in the last 5 days, actually, they established the rules that a man who marries a widow should have 100% increase of his salary. Is it? In one way, it solved their problem. It means that the husband is asking also to distribute the money to the widow. You get the point? In Germany, for instance, or in Belgium, or in most of the country, if you have a child and you try to say, this child is not mine, okay, they take your DNA, and on the salary, the money will decrease immediately, whether you are with the baby or not, the money will go to the kid. And in Belgium, for instance, when you have a child, they give you extra money so that you can fulfill your responsibility rather than a person who is single. You see, those are the socioeconomic problem-solving systems different from every country. But you have to diagnose. You have to diagnose your own problem first. You get the point? Yeah. So these are the socioeconomic problems we have that we can identify. Yeah. For instance, some tips of problem solving, identification of the problem, make deeper study on that problem, tackling the complexity of the problem, preparing all necessary measures, ownership mind, including participation of stakeholders, and taking action. So I have identified some of the problem. We will do also identification of some of the problem in the coming few minutes. Level of self-sufficiency, low but starting with increase of base. For instance, divorce rate increasing in Rwanda, unemployment, early pregnancy of teenagers, price of commodity increasing and mainly on food price, inflation, most of households depending on agriculture, low income less than 1,200 USD per person. This is a big problem because in Rwanda the GDP is still low. If Rwanda have less than 100, now I think we have 1,000 USD as GDP per capita. Qatar have 75, I think, 1,000. You see the difference? Germany has, for instance, 70,000 US dollar per person. You see the gap? How can these people live in the same world? And we are talking Rwanda. In Burundi is the same, almost the same. 500 USD per person. Dear citizens, people cannot afford even a salt. I mean salt, a kilo of salt. They can eat food without cooking oil. Cooking? This is one of the problems of development. Here we have to not to underestimate, but to deal with. How can we increase? There is one NGO from USA which called Give Direct. Give Direct. They have given money. Who knows Give Direct here? Explain it to us. Can you explain? I think you know it.
But I don't know where.
Yes, but
someone. The Give Direct, I think, is NGOs that support school dropout children. Isn't it?
Yes.
As far as
no, not school dropout. Let's go and explain it. That's another story.
So,
Give Direct.
Give Direct and
it is more, it goes to different
affected by refugees
yes,
from Burundi.
with vulnerable people.
Yes.
Yes, and support them and donate money.
Yes, directly.
Yes, directly with no charges.
Yeah, and without asking whether you are rich or poor.
Yeah.
They give you money directly. They took Gisagara district of Rwanda, and in Gisagara district, every household got 800,000 Rwanda directly. In the morning, you get your 800,000 on your home. They give them mobile money numbers. Everyone. What was the use of this money? What I want to say is that when you get that money, you find people going to buy mattress to sleep on. Nice mattress. A bike to drive. Paint to paint his house, or maybe iron sheet to remove the old one. It means to have a direct social impact. You cannot only develop people by saying no. Yeah. This is an example of an NGO from the USA which was helping directly people. Whether you are poor household or rich, you are affected. Okay, take 800,000 without any discrimination. I was happy with that. Of course, if you do it at the same time in the country, there will be pressure. But when you do it at least progressively from one region to another, it helps them. You get the point? Yes. This is an example. Because it increased directly the GDP per capita. Yeah, this is Rwanda trying to find socio-economic solution. That is where I need your contribution. As you see here, I have singled out ECD, child development, early childhood development, ECD. Giringa is one house, one couple family. Land use consolidation, we see much more impact on that. Technology, manufacturing, where they discuss social issues, how to respect wife or husband.
I think it's changed now. It is restricted now. It is okay.
Yes.
Yeah, even men now can attend.
Oh, can attend also?
All of them can attend.
The evening meeting. So to discuss the family issues.
Yes, that happens every Tuesday in local areas.
Right.
At the cell.
Yes. Every Tuesday?
Yes, they discuss just more on these issues of the malnutrition, how to feed the children, also how to solve the family conflicts. Yeah, it usually happens, but now it's changed. Even men can attend. Yes, to learn together. Yes. Normally it was only men.
Very good. So we can you can also add on, because we are almost closing. A few minutes we shall be closing, and we have coffee break together. So who can contribute? What is the other socio-economic mode of man? Yeah? Yes. It was nice to you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yes? VUP, and how it contributes?
VUP contributes a lot in the socio-economic program where all of the people they have received money from the government and to solve their issues.
Yes, to solve the issues. They receive money, for instance, how much?